Perfect. Turned off my ringer.
Me too. Getting ready to clock in for that 5 to 9.
Hi, all. Welcome back
Hi!
to Completely Normal Amount Podcast, episode
Woo!
2. Um,
Yay!
I it has been such a week since our first episode. Like summer went to a full different state, and I
Mm-hmm.
went to a very special place
It's
called the called the
so many
Renaissance
things have
Fair.
happened.
So, I mean, I feel like we've lived a thousand lifetimes since episode 1. But before we get into all of that, I think me and Summer wanted to do just a little gratitude moment.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, yes. We have been loving everybody's support of the podcast, everybody's listens. I mean, obviously there's millions and we can't thank every one of you
mhm.
individually. It is really sweet and nice, everyone who's messaged and listened and subscribed and rated the show. We greatly appreciate and hopefully you continue to do that with all the episodes.
Oh yeah, Summer, I did want to share the review from my father.
Oh, I would
He
love to hear.
said, "Oh, I watched, well, kind of watched the video of you in Summer, but I had to turn it off because I got bored." I said, "Yay! What a rave review!"
That is the number one we've gotten. Oh my
Oh
God.
my
Can I
gosh, I mean
print that out
yeah,
or
like first reviews, stamp it on the wall. Like he said I couldn't finish it. It was so boring. I said, "Yay!"
and you know what? That's very sweet, Eddie. We do
Hey,
appreciate your support, our number one fan.
he doesn't get it, and that's okay. He doesn't need to get it. If he got it, I would be concerned.
Right,
So
right. Not a fan of the Man Candy Monday or anything like that.
he could not even know what a man candy Monday is, and that's totally fine. That being said, do not forget to follow us on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify.
Yep.
We also have a YouTube channel where we post the video format of this podcast, and we also are frequently posting on our Instagrams and TikTok. So don't you forget it. And I'll put those links as well in all of the descriptions of wherever you're listening. So don't you worry.
Don't
You'll
you
find
worry.
us. All right, perfect. Maybe we'll go into a little bit of a recap. Like I said, we've been doing a lot since the last time we recorded. Summer has more impressive story as well as more exciting things. I did a singular activity on the weekend and I can't shut up about it.
Oh
And that's going to go
God.
ahead and be the Ren Fair. Renaissance, for those who are unable to understand that, my mother on Facebook.
What is
Um,
this?
yeah, no, I fully posted the pictures from the Renaissance Fair. Caption says, Ren Fair. My mom comments, what is this? I said, all right, perfect. I will not be able to explain the Ren Fair to her in the comments of my Facebook
Yeah.
post, but okay. Or summer questions, concerns, anything you want to know about the Ren Fair?
Absolutely. First of all, what did you do? Like, I've always seen pictures of the Ren Fair, or like I've always wanted to
Hmm.
go to a Renaissance fair, but like I don't actually know like what do you do? Like you just hang out,
Yeah, so
which is fine.
it's actually funny you're asking me what we did because we didn't do much, but it was
Great.
it was like the nothing of it all that made it so much fun. So obviously I had to dress up in full Ren attire. That was the whole reason I bought my ticket because I wanted an excuse to dress up in a corset. So obviously I went full force and I had a little belt that had like a potion bottle and things. Well, no, it didn't have a potion bottle. It had like a coin purse and whatever. Could have had a potion bottle though. So we get there. It looks like a castle when we walk in, and it's literally just like either like a regular fair, but more like Renaissance
Themed.
themed. So they had like a bunch of like shows. They had like a fire show. They had like some jousts that we saw. There were a lot of booths of just like jewelry and like handmade crafts and like they had like turkey legs and things like that. Like that sounds so boring, but I like it was just the vibes of the whole
No.
place that was so fun.
Yeah, getting to dress up
Yeah,
in general and a castle, that's all I need. That's all we
that
need in
is
life,
all I
really.
need. We did move forward with going into, they had a torture museum
Oh,
in which they like showed the history of like medieval torture
sweet.
vibes.
That's sweet.
A lot of those included rats, which is gross and sweet at the same time, but
All
that's
right.
okay. I had a $10 frozen lemonade, also very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely
Completely
was,
normal price.
yeah, completely normal price for a scoop of lemonade ice cream, basically. It was great. The thing is though, the area, it was one of the windiest day to date. I'm pretty sure it was so freaking windy, and we were on a bunch of dirt.
Which is, yeah.
So I had frozen lemonade with like a sprinkle of dirt, which was delicious, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So by the end of the night, I had so much dirt caked on my legs, my shoulders, my chest, my face. I mean, I was doing full Elizabeth Swan at the end
Mm-hmm.
of Pirates of the Caribbean, if you know what I'm talking about. Like, she just has like the mud on her face. That was literally me. But Summer, you would have loved this. So many booths had like ear I don't know what you would call them. They're like the things that go on top of your ears. They're like
Oh, to make them point
jewels.
it? Oh, no.
Well, they
Bad.
could, yeah, they were pointed, but
Oh,
they were like very like,
almost like an ear cuff.
yes, an ear cup. It was like decorative, and it was giving night court. It was giving night court, and I could not in good faith let myself purchase those, but you know that I wanted a pair.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I wish you would have been there. We would have had a ball.
Unfortunately, we probably would have each bought a pair if I was there. That would have,
Yeah, no, if you were
yeah.
there, and we would have had the little circlet
Oh,
thing that
yep.
goes on your head. Mhm. Mhm.
Yup.
We're doing Ianthe at this point.
Yeah.
That's my recap of the Ren Fair. I wanted to go through it pretty quickly because Summer has way more interesting things to talk about. So, Summer, you go ahead and recap what you have done since our last episode.
Oh God, I haven't done much at all. I think I mentioned in the last episode, but I went to New York City over my spring
Woo!
break. Whoop whoop. So when we're filming this, this was I guess like a week ago I was there. And there was so many different things we did. It was a very low key trip. We had been to New York City before, so we kind of did like more local things because we were visiting friends who live up there.
Hmm.
Um, but we're gonna go ahead and talk about a week ago today.
The
Okay.
elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room. A
Yeah.
week ago today, so Tuesday. Okay. I went and saw a little production in the West Side
Hmm.
Theater in off Broadway near Times Square called Little Shop of Horrors. And I have to
Hmm.
prepare myself for this.
No, yeah, no, y'all give her a moment. I'm begging you,
Like,
please.
just please. The Milo Manheim was playing Seymour, and Liz Gillies was playing Audrey. Okay.
Hmm.
I went
Hmm.
into the show knowing this naturally. That's why I was like beyond excited. And I'm like, couldn't contain it. Like, we get there, I'm like on the edge of my seat, and this theater is so small. So even though our seats were higher up, it felt like so intimate. I was like, oh my God,
Mm,
I'm like Milo, like we're breathing the same air. Like literally, I can see his facial expression.
right, right.
And he comes out. He's not the like in the show. Seymour's not the first character that comes out, but when he comes out, I mean, like tears were forming in my eyes. And I know that's
Yeah.
so dramatic, but like not for this podcast. It's not dramatic at
No,
all. It's actually
it's
completely
completely normal.
completely normal. And I have never seen Little Shop off Broadway. Little Shop was originally a movie that I watched growing up as a wee child, and I really loved the film, which is really odd because it's a very funny like but odd like storyline. So I can't
Mm,
say like he's the best I've ever seen because I haven't seen other productions, but he's like the best I've ever seen.
right. Well, I didn't know, first of all, I didn't know there was a Little Shop movie.
Yes, it was originally a movie. They made the show
Oh,
based off of the movie. And oh my God, it is perfect for off-Broadway. It is perfect for a small theater. So the show in general, I was so excited for the show, but the cherry on top, dare I say like nuclear bomb actually on top
yeah. Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
Milo.
Hmm.
I cannot express, and I don't have to explain to you. I cannot express the stage suits him. The theater suits him. He was so good. Every musical number, every scene was so good. And he knew it.
Mm.
He knew it. The crowd was eating him up. He was eating like it was oh my gosh, it was so good. I look over and Grayson's like enthralled. After the show, he was like, "Oh my God, that was really good." Grayson's first time
Yeah.
seeing like well, he saw Wicked way like when he was in middle school, but he doesn't really remember it, but he was like, "Oh my gosh, that was like really, really good." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." So then we get to the crux of the whole thing, right? The
Right.
show's over. Okay.
So yeah, well, you obviously had to go to the side stage,
And
the
so
side
I'm
door.
like, okay, let me go see where stage door is. Because we wanted to confirm it was right outside the building. And
Mm-hmm.
it was. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I was like, Grayson, I think I really Grayson, my husband, by the way, in case you didn't listen to the last episode, he was with me. I was like, Gray, I think I want to wait outside stage door. And he was like, okay, I'm like, we'll wait, like however long you want to. And I was like, okay, I can do it. Okay, I want to wait. I get out there, probably like 150, 200 people are out there
Yeah,
waiting. Okay.
well, he has that effect on
And,
everyone.
and listen, not even that many people can fit in the theater. And so I'm like, where did all these people come from? Maybe, and I'm really bad at like gauging that kind of thing. So I'm like, maybe there were
Mm,
that many people in here. And there, maybe that many people could fit in the theater, but there were just a lot of people there that like, there's no way that they saw the show. Like we just came out. And so I didn't exactly know, like, there was just a huge long line all down the sidewalk. So I didn't exactly
mm,
know where I needed to stand. So I kind of just stood in an area that had the least amount of people. Like, there was only two people standing in front of me, like, where I could see if he were to walk down, right?
right, right.
And the girls who were in front of me were sitting there talking, like, yeah, I haven't even seen the show. I just know Milo does stage door every night. And so people come and just wait for Milo every night and they don't go to the
And you
show.
would do it. You would do it
And you know
too.
what? I'm not blaming them. I was not upset at all. I said, girl, that's such a smart idea. I should have done it yesterday and I'll do it tomorrow.
Yup.
But so I was waiting there and I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, oh God, we're gonna be waiting here for like an hour, like a long
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I love like meeting people, well, actually, let me rephrase that. There are people I can't be in a room with, right?
Yeah. Right,
Right.
right,
We've
right,
talked
right,
about
right.
this.
Yep.
And there are a lot of people that I like love to death, but I don't know what I would do if I had the opportunity to meet them. I think it would just be better off if I didn't, and I'm being so serious. And so the idea of like having to actually speak to Milo and ask him if he would sign my playbook or playbill and take a photo with me, I thought I was gonna have a
I
panic.
know you. Yeah, I know you were unable
It
to process.
I didn't know what to like. I was just so nervous because I'm also not really abrasive. Like I'm not the type to like push people out of the
Push.
way
Mm-hmm.
or like yell at people. Not that people should do that or that's okay, but like some people are just a little bit more assertive and like, no, I'm gonna get my photo. And I was like, if someone bumped me out of the way, like I'm done. Like I could like I was so nervous.
Yeah.
But Milo, the king that he is known
Mm-hmm.
for like trying to meet everyone who stands at stage door.
Oh,
So apparently, like
I
people,
love him.
I know people who were in front of me, they're like, oh, every single night, like he goes down the whole line. I'm like, oh, oh my God. Okay. So
He is such a blessing, Summer. Like you couldn't have picked a better person to
I
go
know.
see.
The Lord blessed me in in this
Mm-hmm.
endeavor,
Sure
quite
did.
truly. So sure enough, Liz and Milo come out at the exact same time. Okay.
Oh gosh.
Everyone's like,
Mayhem.
they're like, oh my God, Liz came out with Milo. Like that never like, and like these people clearly like have been here before. They're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
that never happens. They came out together. They came out at the same time, and Liz is wearing a hat, and I'm not that tall. I'm not short, but like there was really tall people in front of me.
Mm.
And so I was like, I don't think we're gonna have enough time like to get to sign the playbill and take a photo and talk to them. So I just gave Grayson my phone. I said, "You're just gonna have to record as soon as like Milo and Liz start walking this way. Just record,
Mm-hmm.
and then if I get to take a picture, just take a picture through the video. Okay? Everybody does that.
Right.
I think that's normal." So Milo's truly starting from the end to make his way down. I was not at the very end.
Oh,
Liz kind of just started in the middle and kind of just kept going. No shame to her, but like she was fine. She was nice. She kind of scares me a little bit. I know.
she's very intimidating.
Yes, and so she took some pictures with people in front of me, and I asked, and she saw my playbill, and she reached for it. I didn't even have to ask her, and so she signed it. words could not leave my mouth to ask her to take a photo.
No, that's Jade.
That's Jade.
That's
And so,
Jade.
oh God, I should have got a photo, but I didn't. So I was like, no, I need a photo with Milo. Like I'm not leaving this place without getting a photo with Milo,
Oh
even if he
yeah,
doesn't
and
sign my playbill. So he's walking down, he's talking to everyone. He's like laughing at people's jokes. He's saying, "Oh my gosh, I love you guys. Like you guys are so great." He's like telling people, he's like saying, "Oh my God, like I need to make it all the way down the line. I have so many more people to go. I'm gonna start going quicker, but like I don't want anybody to get upset." I'm like, "Oh
he
my
is
God,
he's so humble.
so sweet." And when he gets to me, and you can kind of see in the video, but this is how it felt for me. I
It was the parting of the Red Sea.
Yeah, I
It
didn't,
was the parting of the Red Sea.
and I'm not really that short, but the people in front of me were taller than me.
Right.
And I was kind of sitting in like a divot on the sidewalk. So, and I was wearing a black jacket and it was nighttime. There aren't really lights on the street. And so I'm like, if I don't like hold my playbill up, like he's not gonna see me. But I
Right.
didn't want to like be smacking it in people's faces or anything like that. So I just kind of had my playbill like up. I'm like raising my arm, just holding my playbill. Maybe he'll just grab it and
Right.
sign it. And if he grabs it, he'll make eye contact with me. I'll talk to him. Guess what? That's
That's exactly what
exactly
happened.
what happened. I was holding my playbill, and in the video, he kind of like skips over the two people in front of me and he grabs my playbill. And I'm like, this is it. I have to ask. I say, Milo, can I get a photo too? And he goes, yeah, absolutely. Respect, whatever. And I'm like, and so I just like squeeze my way through these two people and I turn around and I just point because I have like a bright pink phone screen. So I'm like, just look for
Yeah.
the bright pink phone. And he's like, all right. And quite literally in the video, people just go, they
Yeah.
part like the
They
Red Sea.
parted the Red. It was insane. It was a movie.
And like, he like stood there and made sure like we got a photo. Like
No, he did.
it was like prolonged, not like not for anything special or anything like that, but like he didn't go like, oh, real quick, real quick peace sign. Like he like stayed there, made like different faces, and I told him, I said, "You were fantastic. I love you so much." He said, "Thank you, love you."
Oh, Summer, when you sent me the photo, I immediately had water in the corner of my eye. I was tearing up. I,
Speechless. Speechless.
oh my gosh.
As soon as I walk away, FaceTime Allison, I say, I can't breathe. Can't
Can't
catch a breath. Can't catch a breath.
I Milo Manheim is a point 0.5 for me. I thought that Milo was going to be a phase when I
Right.
watched Zombies for the first time. I watched Zombies purely for Milo, and I was like, okay, this is just a phase because you go through celebrities that you're like, oh, I love them, and then they kind of fade
Hmm.
away. Milo has stuck around for so long. I have been in love with him for 7 years.
Yeah, and as you
Like
should.
as and this is the reason why the way that he treats the people that he meets, that's crazy that he made sure to meet every single person out there.
And like
Love
he
him.
might have skipped some because like there were like some people who were like 6 rows back and they might have not had
Right.
any intention of getting up there. But I mean, he started from the end, made his whole way down. Like he was making
Oh.
like TikToks with people. Like it was just he was just very sweet. Like he would like converse, like speak to
Yeah.
people, and I when he after he did my photo, he like looked down the line. He's like, "Oh my God, I got so many people to go. I'm gonna try to get to everyone, I swear." And I was like, "King, you don't have to, but we appreciate
Oh
you."
my
It was
gosh. No,
so sweet.
he's been through this process before,
Right.
and the fact that he is still trying to meet every single person that goes to see it, king.
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 That is king behavior. And if you'll notice on our Man Candy Monday, me and Summer both had him on our pages. So,
And like, yeah. Yeah.
and why
Why
would he
wouldn't
not
we?
be?
Hmm.
Why would he not be?
Yup. I literally could not believe I was seeing it. And then the fact that it was
Mm-hmm. Milo,
Milo, like you're
a tier
kidding me.
one.
Oh my, it was
Ugh.
the show overall was quite literally fantastic. Like it was so good. And like I said, my husband Grayson, he's not crazy about theater. I mean, he enjoys theater, but he's not crazy about it. He was like, "That was so good. That was so good." And I was like,
Oh,
I know it so good.
that's the thing though. I just feel like there is a stigma when it comes to like theater. I know Broadway obviously has like a wonderful reputation. Like when you think theater, you think Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
But like in general, like people have like these preconceived notions of
Right.
like theater and like what a show and like it's like considered like cringy and
Right.
nerdy and like a certain type of person can only enjoy it. But that is just not the case, especially
Mm-hmm.
on Broadway. Like going to see a Broadway show is like an elevated experience.
Yes. 100%.
Oh my
And
gosh.
And like especially people's conceptions on like musicals too. Like I just don't get it. I don't understand the weird negative stigma around it because even Grayson was like, "Oh my God, the production was so good and like the
Yes.
performances were so good." And I was like, "I know, I know." It's just like the theater.
It is like that there is a reason that theater has been around for as long as it has.
The dawn, like the
The
uh, dawn
yeah,
of time.
the dawn of time, you're so right. That's exactly how I felt when I went to go see Sweeney Todd. So last
Mhm.
January, I went and saw Sweeney Todd on Broadway because Joe Locke, who plays Charlie in Heartstopper, he was making his Broadway debut, and I could not miss it. So
Right.
I went and saw Sweeney Todd, and like I'm not obsessed with the show Sweeney Todd. Like it's fine. It's obviously a unique plot, and it's
Mm-hmm.
a little gruesome, whatever. But that is what Joe Locke decided to be in, so I had to go.
Right.
Um, and even then, even though like the show's not my favorite, like it's fine, whatever, I was like blown away by just like the production and like atmosphere
Yeah.
of a Broadway show.
The
It is
energy.
it's electric.
Yes.
Electric.
That energy is so good.
It's so good. And I think we have differing opinions. I hate New York. Every
Yeah.
time I've been like, this city sucks. I hate the walking, whatever. But the one thing that is the whole reason it's worth it is to go to that freaking Broadway.
Yes. To have
Like that,
access to go to that, like on the reg.
yes. Oh my gosh. I wanted to go see Kit Connor and his Romeo and Juliet,
Yeah.
whatever, with Rachel Ziegler. So, so bad. I was like really trying to plan a trip, but did not get to do that, which is totally fine. But I mean, it's just like beyond any, like you can't get that anywhere else. I mean, I know they have like traveling Broadway troops, whatever, but it is not the same.
No.
It
And
is not
like,
the same.
yeah, because like Hamilton will travel when they do productions, but like, I don't want to see it in Alabama. That's
No,
disgusting.
that feels, yeah, I think it
Ew.
also is like it is like so specific to New York
Yeah.
that like you go and
Like
you're
you're
like
in the
in the
city.
city.
Like
Yes,
art is happening.
yes, it's beautiful. Gosh, the city that never sleeps, as they say.
No, as they say.
Well, speaking of doing Broadway and whatnot, me and Summer also wanted to divulge in our history on the stage. As we mentioned briefly last episode, we were theater kids.
Yup.
Not that that says much from where we went to high school. We didn't have that much to offer, but
We weren't
but
going to Broadway, if we want to say that.
we weren't jet setting to Broadway after high school, but we did put our whole heart into the theater.
Hmm.
And so we kind of wanted to go through the shows that we did in high school. Some of them you may be familiar with, others there's no way you've ever heard of it in your life. Um,
And if you
so
have, you know what? Go on and let us know why.
yeah, because God bless. Um, just a background, like me and Summer, I actually was like waiting for the podcast to ask her, but I wanted to talk about just like our background that kind of got why we started to do theater. Um, I started theater when I was in middle school for like the community theater where we lived. And obviously, I'm a dramatic person by nature. So the
Hmm.
theater really did um, call to me like a siren. And so I was doing theater way before high school, but I was like so excited to get to high school so that I could do the Broadway. I mean, excuse me. I could do the shows. And funny enough, Summer, you're talking about Little Shop of Horrors. Our school also did Little Shop. They were doing
Really?
like, yes, our school did Bye Bye Birdie, Little Shop, Hairspray. Like they were doing like full length performances. So I'm not sure why when we got to high school we were doing junior versions of things, but that's totally
Yeah.
fine. So the way our school did it, first semester was like a straight play,
Hmm.
then second semester was the musical.
Yeah.
So, freshman year, I did the straight play. It was Treasure Island. I'm sure you've heard of like the book or whatever. I honestly don't remember the plot other than we were searching for treasure.
Hmm.
And that was exciting because I got a like speaking role in that show, and I was a freshman and I felt very accomplished. So that was fun. But then here comes second semester where summer kind of came into the picture, and we decided, and our friend Trisha,
Hmm.
we decided to do the musical, which was Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Hmm.
And Summer, now I'm going to ask you the question as to why you decided to do theater in the first place.
It's actually a really sweet story that I mean, we've genuinely never spoken about why I decided to do theater, so it'll be new for all
Yeah.
listening. So I've always loved movies and production and television.
Mm-hmm.
Still, my like lifelong dream would be to work in production.
Right.
Um, I did not grow up in Alabama. I grew up in Florida, and I didn't really have those type of resources to be involved in theater.
Right.
I wasn't involved in really any extracurricular things when I lived in Florida with yeah, when I lived in Florida. So when I moved to Alabama, um and started going to our school,
Mm-hmm.
we've talked briefly about my first day wasn't actually the first day of school. I started like a
Mm-hmm.
week or two later, and we first met. I distinctly remember we were at lunch because we shared lunch together.
Right.
And you had mentioned that you were doing the straight play like that
Mm-hmm.
semester, and you were talking about it in a very positive way, of course, because theater is life
Mm-hmm.
changing as we've discussed.
Right.
And I was like,
Mhm.
theater? Like I didn't even know that that was a thing. Like people could do that at
Right.
school.
Yeah.
And you were just talking about how much fun it was. You are very distinctly remember you being very happy about having a speaking role and just about the show in general. And so I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, I want to do that. Obviously, at this time, it was way too late for me to be a part of said production, but also
Right.
like you said in the last episode, I was very timid. I was not like
Mm-hmm.
quite prepared for that. And so genuinely for the rest of that semester, I just kept thinking like, okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna sign up for the musical. And I signed up for Thoroughly Modern Millie, and we got ourselves on the ensemble.
Yup, sure did. Me and Summer and Trisha were all on the ensemble. And
But
honestly,
mhm,
the ensemble is one of the best roles to be in a musical, and I'll have to say that.
I 100% agree because most of the time you get to sing the best music. You get to sing the best
Yes.
songs. That show. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the show, it's a like 1920s theme. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Around that era, and the music for it is just to
It's
this
like
day
jazzy and like,
so fun. Our costumes were fun. We
mm-hmm.
had like really good choreography for that. Allison and I were in most of the numbers, dare we say,
Yeah, not to toot our own horns or anything,
but we were.
but we were.
Um, and I just remember that one being so much fun. And from then on, I was like, I got to do this like as many times as I can.
Right. What's crazy about Thoroughly Modern Millie though is like they hired some like college kids to do our choreography,
Mm-hmm.
and none of us had a dance background, okay?
Yup.
Not a single one of us. And this show is like heavily like tap dance.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like using terms related to tap dancing that none of us knew what they were talking about. Tap dancing is actually so hard.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they were teaching us like all of these things. I was like, babe, you're not gonna get me to do actual tap. Like we were like half doing it. But I to this day I still listen to that soundtrack.
Oh, mm-hmm.
It's so fun.
It's so good.
And then so you can imagine our horror going into sophomore year, thinking that we were about to repeat the experience of Thoroughly Modern Millie, to be doing a show that was definitely unique, if that's a word to use for it. Summer, what would you say?
It was an original piece.
Yeah.
It was an
So
original piece.
this show was I don't know where this idea came from. I don't know if there was budget issues. I don't know. But turns out, so we didn't actually buy the rights to a show sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
We moved forward with combining a bunch of like Grimm brother
Yeah.
stories, um, and put them together and wrote our own scripts. Not us, not like me and Summer, but
Yeah.
um,
Like our
just
director
our
and
director and team
people.
and such.
Yeah.
And it was called Stories in the Dark, and it was like we had it. I think we did the show around Halloween, so that's why we did like
Mm-hmm.
more of a spooky like theme. It was agonizing to get through.
Chat, that
And
one was rough.
God forbid if our director is listening to this podcast. I hope she's not because I hated that show.
And like, if she is, we love you, but
Oh my gosh, love her to death.
that was a painstaking experience. The
It
setting was
was
like we were at like a
Halloween party.
yeah, a Halloween party, so we were all in our own costumes. We got to pick. Like we had to pick what we dressed up as. I dressed up as a
Mhm.
hobbit. That's fine.
Yep, I dressed up as a nurse,
Yeah,
pretty
I think you
sure.
were a nurse. But then we were telling stories in the dark, and so the
Yeah.
scenes would
It would like
be
fade. We would
yeah.
like come back to the we would come back to the Halloween party and it's like, oh well, I have a story for you, and then like the
Mm-hmm.
settings would change. And the most entertaining part of this show is that we had these ghosts made out of trash bags. And we
On a stick.
on a
Uh-huh.
stick, and we had to at the very end. I don't even remember what the story in the dark that we were
Mm-mm.
talking. We had to come out with these ghosts on the stick and like wave them around. It was
We have photos.
yeah, no. The good thing is we got to keep our ghosts at the end of it, which
Yeah.
was sweet. And our director advised us to come up with a storyline
I was
as
just
to
about to ask if you remember that.
we had to come up with a storyline about why, like, what happened in our ghosts' lives and, like, how they died and whatnot. And so me and Summer decided that our ghosts were going to be lovers.
Yay! I was gonna ask if you remember what our story was.
That's
Yes.
all I remember is
That's
that they were like dating, but that's it.
so here's what I remember, and this might be a long shot because you know memory is finicky. But I remember
It is.
my ghost was like male looking, and
Yes.
almost he looked. His name was Jack. I remember my ghost name. I don't remember what your ghost name was.
I don't know either. I don't.
And he kind of looked like he was wearing a pirate hat.
Yes,
So it was like
he was.
he was like a pirate who like left for sea and passed away or something like that. And your
Mm,
ghost either like we
was
I
waiting
left
for
you, yeah,
him.
and you passed away while you were waiting or something like that. But yeah, we were lovers and we wrote like a whole like detail like we had to write it down like on a paper and show our director like tell her the story of our ghost.
I
Be-
At this point she was surely just giving us busy
something to do.
work.
Do you
Yeah,
remember
like
something that was legitimately part of our rehearsal was making wind noises?
yeah, yes. Oh my gosh, yes, yeah, because there was. Wait, no, yeah, we did. We sat in a circle, kumbaya style, and we said,
Like, and she was, we had to be very specific about the type of noises. Like, we had to listen to a video of what wind sounded like to mimic that with our
Mhm.
mouths. No
We did,
mics, just us going,
and she would kind of prompt us to be like something else happening, like, oh, like you. I don't remember. It was like, oh, there's thunder. We were like,
yes,
like
yes, yes. Or like the wind picking up, and we were like, I like this is so legitimate. We did this in the production.
for a hour, for an hour.
We
Oh my
had
gosh,
we were our own sound effects.
this show did so horribly in the box office that we did not have enough money to do a musical for sophomore year. So
If
we
that
had
tells
to
you
move.
anything.
Yeah, that says a lot.
Yep.
Okay. So we had to wait until the beginning of junior year to get ourselves back on that stage.
It
And
was
by
rough.
and by that point, the upperclassmen that were like getting all of the roles, they had graduated. So it was me and Summer's time
Hmm.
to shine. Okay?
Yep.
We had paid our dues and we were ready for that spotlight. We sure were. And we
Yep.
got it.
And we got it. So we move on to junior year. Our director announces the straight play for the fall is A Midsummer Night's
Midsummer Night
Dream.
by none other William Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare. So of course we go through auditions. Allison and I get the two female leads.
That's right. Like, wait, what? It was
And
Hermia and
Helena. I was
Helena.
Helena.
Let's go.
Yep.
Let's
My
go.
if you're from you, surely way more people are familiar with A Midsummer Night's Dream than probably
Yeah.
some of the other shows we just talked about. But my girl was crazy, and
hmm
yours was just a sweet
This is
girl.
also, if you don't know anything about A Midsummer Night's Dream, it's one of William Shakespeare's like comedies.
Yeah.
So it was very unique. It was a, but the thing is, our director like made a creative choice to make it so we
Hmm.
were set in the 70s, which I
Yeah.
think they have done A Midsummer Night's Dream like a couple years ago, and they were in the 20s. So she did a different
Yeah.
decade. Yeah.
So it was kind of cool. I mean, I really enjoyed that show.
I did too, and I think it made sense for us to be in the 70s because it was very like trippy. Like the
Yes.
way, like, because those characters are being affected by like fairies in the forest,
Hmm.
they're like all everything's getting mixed up, so it's like trippy, which makes sense obviously for the 70s. I will say though, Shakespeare is horrible to memorize.
Allison and I would spend hours. Do you remember hours on the
Mhm.
phone just going back and forth rehearsing our lines
Over
over
and
and
over,
over?
over. Like this was after play practice. So it would
Yep.
be like play practice would end at like 5:30. We would go home, eat, shower, whatever. Call, we would be on the phone until 8,
Hmm.
discussing, going over our lines over and over again. And you would know me and Summer were the only ones that did that.
Oh, God,
It was
yeah.
like 3 days before the show opened and nobody knew their
Nope.
lines. I mean, it really was just like a few of the minor characters who didn't have 50,000 lines like we did, that didn't want to learn their lines to begin with, which was just obviously that makes total sense.
Right.
Whenever Summer, I remember vividly, you had a genuine like 2 paragraph
A monologue.
monologue.
And I said, oh,
Oh my gosh,
oh.
like just her on the stage going la 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 la, like so much.
And our director cut out like a lot of some of
Yeah, she
the
redacted a bunch of stuff.
yeah, redact not I wouldn't say a ton, but redacted it to kind of shorten the show. She did not take anything out of my
No, she did
monologue.
it.
Not a word. And I said, "Oh, Bestie, you didn't want to chop this down a little bit?" And that was probably the one we like over. I can't even either. I don't even know really what I what I
Yeah.
said. But that was the one I had to go over and over and over again. And honestly, though, it made me feel very proud at the end of the day, having like nailed those lines on stage, though.
Yes, I agree. Like after the end of that show, I felt accomplished because William Shakespeare is so like pivotal in the like theater world, and the fact that we one got to do a Shakespeare show but also like really got to like play
Right.
those parts. I think it was very rewarding, I would say.
And like
Um
for me only doing like two shows before and then like getting the lead for this, like that was like, oh my gosh, like we felt like,
we
oh,
we
movie
were
stars.
living, we were in the moment. So we were the
Oh my gosh.
moment.
And I think a lot the like people who came to see the show also really enjoyed it, and that's always nice, as we were talking about earlier, being in a space where everybody's enjoying the show and has good energy.
Yes.
Like that show had really good energy. And I have fond memories of that show.
A perfect way to follow up A Midsummer Night's Dream was gonna go ahead and be Lion King, which we discussed last episode was our favorite show that we've done. Lion King was, we actually involved middle school students in this
Mm-hmm.
one because the show starts off and like Simba and Nala are like younger and then they grow up. So
Mm-hmm.
we did like move forward with like inviting middle school students to audition. So that was really fun, I thought. I thought it was fun that we got to like connect with like like the younger students that are
Yeah.
like going to like take over after we leave. Oh my gosh, that show was so emotional. It was, there is like nothing like a bond that you create with the cast members of your show. And if you've never done theater, like
You don't get it.
I don't know how to explain it to
Yeah.
you. It is like unlike any kind of friendship that you will ever have. It's insane.
I mean,
Insane.
you're spending hours together, but not only are you spending hours together, like you're all creatives in the same space with the
Yes.
same passion and like all are trying or mostly everyone's trying to make this the best it can be and all like
Yes.
sees the value of the show. And Lion King's not hard. Like most people know Lion King because it's Disney, so you don't
Yeah.
have to try hard to get people to understand the show. Um, for this one because we shared it with the middle school. I don't want to say shared, but we collaborated with middle school. Like we had two roles in the
Mm-hmm.
show.
Right.
So I was Zazu and a lioness, sweet
Mm-hmm.
sweet old lioness.
Oh
But I was yep.
yeah.
But I was a crazy
Once
crazy
again,
bird.
and I was a hyena and a lioness, which as we discussed last episode, but like I said earlier, like being a lioness ensemble was more rewarding than the hyena.
Anything. And like our director brought in like an artist to create like
Hmm.
our set pieces and our I don't want to say
Like,
costume, but like paper mache. That's the word I was looking
yeah.
for. Like paper mache pieces and like I said, we talked about it last episode, but there's a photo in our intro of said pieces, Zazu
Hmm.
at least. But we have pictures from the show. Maybe I
Yeah.
can like throw them in just to get a good visual. There's a picture of us on the stage together, Zazu hyena-esque, um, that I'm
Mm.
thinking of in my head. I don't think we have pictures of us as a lioness, but we loved our little lioness heads. Like it was
Yeah.
so sad to part from them. We did that show. That was probably the show we did the longest. It ran the
Hmm.
longest.
Yeah.
Um, 2 weeks.
Yeah. 2 weeks.
Multiple like most days had like a matinee and a night show, or two matinees and an evening show.
Hmm.
Um, I could have performed it for a month. Like I
I could have kept going
could have kept
forever and
going.
ever. It was, and that one was fun too because the learning process and going into that, we had to learn Swahili,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm pretty sure is like an African
Language.
language. Yeah, and because a lot of the like ensemble singing parts are in Swahili.
Yep.
So we were like, "Ustale hislebo." I mean, like we were like, I mean, we were bilingual by the end of that show.
Like, and our director also brought in like I guess a choir director. Was she a
Hmm.
or a musical like someone who
Yeah,
knew sheet music and knew
yeah.
music, and she drilled into us the specific, like she separated us into sopranos, altos, all that tenor,
Hmm.
and made sure we were hitting the notes according to what was on the
Yes,
sheet music. Like this
yes,
was intense. This wasn't just like, okay, we're gonna go sing Circle of Life. Like, no, we each had a role, a cadence, a specific like part that we were singing. Like it
hmm.
was magical, magical.
Yeah, and it showed on the stage.
It
It
really
really
did.
did. It really did.
Talk about energy,
Mm,
energy,
mm.
energy.
Loved.
It was genuinely the toughest show to leave. Like I just remember that feeling of being
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna do this again. Like I can't do
It was so sad, so sad.
Ugh.
But senior year, we did move forward with um another Disney musical, but I guess we should talk about the straight play first.
Yeah,
Um,
not too much.
yeah, there's not much to say. Our senior year, we did a show called Halloween Screams. Never heard of it in my life, but it
Mm-mm.
was, I mean, it was fine. It was like a 90s grunge setting, and we were like a bunch of college kids putting on a haunted house, and
Yeah.
then we actually discovered that where the civic center or whatever we were using was actually haunted.
Hmm.
Um,
And we got the
yeah,
leads in that as well.
sure did. We sure did. I
We
don't
sure.
even. Oh, just my name was Justine.
I think my
I
name
don't re
was Meg.
Meg.
It was Meg.
Meg. It was Meg.
It was Meg.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That one was fun though because that was when I started to get into like video editing. So I
Yeah.
asked our director if I could create like a trailer for the show to put on YouTube to promote the show, and she was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So I did do a like horror trailer, and that was fun. But like
It's
really,
good.
it was like kind of spooky, not gonna
Oh,
lie.
it's
I mean,
good.
for the resources that we had, I was like, hey. Um, but like there really wasn't much to say about that. I mean, it was our senior year, so it was
Hmm.
like we were like trying to soak it all in. But I did love that cast as well.
We had a really good
But
time.
I just felt like that show was very centered around the four main like
Mm-hmm.
characters, and it didn't like and it didn't, I guess, like you
It
weren't
didn't
able
have an
to.
ensemble.
Yeah, like there were other people that were kind of just like ensemble-esque, but I felt like we
Hmm.
couldn't really interact with them as much as you could with a musical.
Right. Like,
But that's okay, whatever, because our senior year musical was Aladdin.
ooh.
There's no question this Eliza Loring, okay? Aladdin was so much fun.
Oh, that was probably as much as we love Lion King, me personally, I think that was our best set.
Oh
Um,
my gosh, yes, it was gorgeous.
we had someone had built like how would you describe it? It like encompassed the whole stage. Like it stayed up the whole show.
It
And it was
was,
like a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
frame. I'll have
Yes.
to put some pictures up too, but it was
Yeah.
beautiful. Bright color, just Arabian Nights.
It was Arabian Nights, and we had like a bunch of like colorful like cloths that were hanging
Hmm.
from it was just gorgeous. And that was a really, really special show, obviously because it was our last one.
And go
But
on, sis. Go on and tell them who you were.
oh girl, anyway, that I was going that I was Jasmine. Um,
Oh, you just Jasmine. That's all.
but that was just I split Jasmine, so Jasmine was double casted. So I
Hmm.
did like half the nights, and then our friend Claudia did the second half. So that was fun, and that was how I got really close with Claudia. And now she's one of
Hmm.
my best friends.
Which is sweet.
Which is once again the power of theater. The fact that I went my senior year, met one of my best friends of all time, like love her, and she was younger than us.
Yep.
So once again, the power of theater. But I will say that the cast of Aladdin was my favorite.
Mm,
I felt like we were all so close.
I had a video pop up in my memories the other day of us just like sitting and hanging out and we're just singing Aladdin and like just show it's
Yeah.
just so the
And
power of
because Aladdin is
theater.
a movie, we had like a screening of the movie like
Yeah.
leading up to the show with our Aladdin shirts. I mean, it just like nothing like a community like that. It was crazy.
I miss
Um,
it. I miss it.
I do too every day. I'm like, oh gosh, I miss Tag. Tiger Arts Guild
Yep, I
was our
miss it.
name. Don't you wear it out?
And like I think that one just holds a special place in our heart too because it was our last. So I remember us being like so emotional about that fact specifically
Hmm.
and um just knowing that it was our last time on that stage in a
Yeah.
show.
I broke my
Ugh,
our very, very last show. I obviously broke character. I had one scene where I like was singing a solo and could not get it out. I was
yep.
sobbing. I was like I embarrassing, but what can I do?
No, I remember that. Yeah, I mean,
What
I
can I?
felt the same way.
Okay, so now we've yapped for forever and a year. I think we should
Oops.
do some thoughts, comments, and
Of
concerns.
course. I went first last week, so I would love for you to go first and tell me what you've been
Okay,
thinking about, what you're concerned about, what you got comments
right.
about.
Okay, so I'm looking at our notes. I didn't want to put this down in our notes because I wanted to see I hear Summer's thoughts about this.
My genuine
Um,
thoughts.
yes. So my thought for this week is it is absolutely insane the cultural impact that SpongeBob has had on all of our lives.
Uh-huh.
Like, okay, let me explain.
Okay. All
I
right.
There is not a situation in life in which I cannot think of a SpongeBob reference that could go with it. No, that I won't think of for example, if I go into a restaurant and they have a dollar bill and it's like our first dollar bill, obviously I'm thinking about Mr. Krabs.
Mm-hmm.
If I
Squeaking
see
it.
a if I see a disgusting veggie burger sitting in front of my place, I'm thinking, oh, the health inspector from SpongeBob. If I'm
Uh-huh.
like getting a hamburger and I'm like, oh, I want some pickles, like where are my pickles? There are Girl Scout season. I'm thinking about the episode where with the chocolate. I'm sorry, like there are I think I subconsciously like
It's
try to
ingrained.
yes, everything around me is SpongeBob.
And you
Okay.
know
And it's
what?
not like I'm not like obsessed with SpongeBob. Like I'm not like a crazed fan, but it is like there are so many, like I want to like sometimes it'll just come to me. I'm like, That's a SpongeBob reference."
It's just funny because like I know like we've all watched SpongeBob, but like you don't really
Yeah.
talk about SpongeBob. So that is an interesting thought to come from this side of the screen.
Okay, sorry. It was really random, but when it hit me, I said, "Oh my God, we have to talk about this."
No, but
But
I do think of SpongeBob regularly, and I'm also not a crazy fan because there are so many references to it. But I think about like older SpongeBob episodes. I don't know nothing about
yes,
like newer
the new
ones.
ones, no, no.
Um, no,
Well,
I
I
was,
just think I feel like because SpongeBob is obviously so popular and well known, that is the singular thread in our universe in which that
uh-huh.
connects all of us.
Like thinking like, you ever think about a pizza without thinking about SpongeBob?
Nope.
Nope.
A Sunday, you're not thinking
Nope.
about
Goofy
the
Goober?
movie Goofy
I
Goober?
I think about the movie on the reg. I do
Me
think about
too.
that movie on the regular.
Yup.
When I there's a place down at the beach that we like to go to. It's called the Shell Shack. So you best believe when I go in there, I say, "You think if I turn the water on, all these guys would come back to life?" Yeah, it's a legit question I ask.
Shell City.
Shell City. Oh gosh, that is I.
That movie is actually so
It
good.
really is. I genuinely like it really love that movie and think about it. I've seen that movie probably more than no, I wouldn't say more than I've seen SpongeBob, but I've seen that movie very, very repetitively.
Yeah, as you
God, yeah.
should. So that was my thought.
Okay, that's
Just
good.
just want to I want maybe take some time this week to look around and see the SpongeBob in life.
Yeah, and you know it won't be hard.
It's not hard at all. Unfortunately, once you see it, you're not going to unsee it. So,
And now we've implanted that worm in your brain. So,
right. All right,
yeah.
Summer, what's your thought?
Okay, my thought is really dumb. Okay, so, but I just want to
Interesting.
preface that.
Okay.
Uh, okay, so what? While
Okay.
I was in New York,
hmm
I was processing like what it would be like to live in New York because like I said, we stayed with friends, so it felt like I could kind of like envision what that would be like. Not that
hmm
like I'm moving or anything, but I was just like, what is it like to live here? And randomly I just thought, I looked to Grayson and I said, "Do you ever think about like in life, like how many people you've seen like
Right.
like actually seen with your eyes, like how many
hmm
people a day when you are going to like Disney or New York or a populated area or even home, and think about like how many different people have
You
you
see in a
just
day.
seen a day?" And like it's like thousand like I don't that's I guess it's not as profound or anything like that, but I'm just like when we were getting on the subway, I'm like, we see a massive group of people every time we get on a new train.
hmm
And then when
hmm
we get off, we see another massive group of people. And then when we go to a new location, it's another massive group of people. And it's just like you just
Right.
constantly are seeing more and more people. And it's just like, how many people have I personally like seen, laid eyes on? Not like people from the distance, like around the corner that I can't see, but like it's probably millions.
No, Summer, I have that thought sometimes too. Like when I'm at the grocery store, I'm like, I could have passed this guy last week and I had no idea.
Right. Like I could have seen that these people last time I was in New York. How? I would have no clue because these people might live here and I might get on the same train as them.
Right,
I
right.
like it's
It is
crazy.
that is insane. I agree with you. Like that is, and those are like you're like, oh, it sounds stupid, but like when that thought hits you, you're like,
Right.
there are so many people in this world, and yet it's
Yeah.
a small world after all,
Right.
as
And
they
like
say.
while if I have seen like a million people, that's literally only like what an eighth of the earth. So
Oh gosh, that even that thought makes me sick to
yeah,
my
that
stomach.
makes me sick. So want to leave that with you today.
Okay, I'll be thinking about that now from now on till the dawn of time.
Love that.
Okay, so comments. This is uh relevant to the Ren Fair, but why is it not socially acceptable to be wearing that outfit that I wore to the Ren Fair in daily life? I have never felt more confident than I did on Sunday. That outfit made me feel like a princess.
Right.
And who's going to tell me that I can't wear that in public?
And you know what? That's another crazy thing to think about is like how fashion impacts like how we dress. Cause like why can't like why would people judge you're just wearing clothes like oh because
Wait,
it's
you're right.
different?
You're, you know what? And I probably could just show up and look like that.
And like I would not judge you, but people would be like, oh like
What is she
what are you
wearing?
wearing? but like how I'm just wearing clothes. People used to wear this. Like how like
Yeah, that's so true. That's so
I
true.
but I would think that too. I'd get in my head of like, oh my God, if I wear this to work, people are going to be like, what are you dressing up like for? But like
Yeah.
really it's just normal clothes. And it's beautiful. And like I want to feel like a princess. I don't want to wear my work slacks and
Right.
t-shirt.
No.
I
Like
want to wear my corset.
if it makes me feel confident, why can't I wear it to work?
Right.
All right, what about you? What's your comment?
My comment is a fun one. Okay.
Okay.
So, you know, you're a huge sports fan for sure.
Yeah, love it. Love
Well
it.
known for being involved in the sports. No.
Mhm.
Um, March Madness starts today.
Yup.
Okay. Um, in all seriousness, I do love the sports and I'm very excited for it. And I wanted to take this time to set up a proposition of going ahead and sending you a link to make yourself a little March Madness bracket.
Oh
And
gosh.
we can put our two brackets in a group and we can just follow along and see how that
Okay.
goes.
You know I know nothing about basketball.
Yeah, it could be fun. Maybe just like you pick based off vibes and then,
Well, yeah, that's true. The last March Madness I did a bracket for, I literally picked Duke because that's where Cody Co went to college,
right.
and they ended up being the top two. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
what am I supposed to do? Maybe I'm just a good guesser. I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe.
Okay, okay, fine. I'll do a March Madness bracket for you, but don't expect me to be any good.
No, no, no. I just would love to see like just kind of like where your heart ends up.
Okay, concerns. Okay, I didn't write one down. But this was a concern that I had in my brain also at the Renaissance Fair. God forbid I bring it up one more time.
Right.
But why was I kind of like hoping to find a husband at the Renaissance Fair?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And
Mm-hmm.
like, why was I thinking that way when like
Was there a male there?
no, there was a
Okay.
lot actually.
Okay.
Now, were they straight? Questionable. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to get back with you on that. But I really like I said, I was feeling so confident. I was like, I'm the most gorgeous one in this fair, obviously, aside
Yeah.
from my friends who were with me, of course, because they were gorgeous as well.
And you guys
But
were.
aside from our group, I was like I'm a stunner. Why is
Yeah.
no one coming up to talk to me?
No, literally.
Um, not that I would ever acknowledge it because like I hate interacting with
Men.
people that are not girls. So
Yeah.
like I probably would have been like, "Oh, get away!" But in my head, I was like, "I'm gonna meet my husband at the Ren Fair." Like I really am, and I think that's also a concerning thought.
Okay. Did we
That's
speak to a man at the Ren Fair?
didn't speak to a single soul other than the group that I went with, and
Right.
I should have known that was the case because the people down here do not like to gab and meet new people.
No,
They do
no,
not
no,
like to do
no.
the yappy yap. They don't. So I don't know why I was expecting it, but I was like, I look too good for someone to not speak to me. Not a single soul spoke to me. So
Maybe we just like have to go to other ones.
yeah, well, not a problem. Apparently, there's one in Tennessee that is in an actual castle.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, we should go.
Yeah, fun! Yeah, we should. I would love that. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. We're gonna have to
All
look
right, so
into that.
we'll keep that in mind for next year.
Yay.
Um, so what about you? What are your concerns?
My concern is so basic, but I'm being so serious. So, I said in the last pod, we do social for work. And so at my job, I primarily do most of my task on my like computer and my monitors.
Right.
So if I have to pick up my phone to kind of like do additional research, so sometimes I might be tagging somebody in a post and I want to look up their
Mm-hmm.
handle or like I need to look at something on my
Right.
phone for work. I do not understand why the minute I pick up my phone, I open Instagram and I start scrolling.
Summer, I'm the
Okay?
same
And then
way.
I'm lost. I'm in Reels, I'm looking at our DMs, and then I go to TikTok, then I'll go to Facebook, then I'll just go and check something else, and then I'm like, wait, why was I here? And I go, oh my God, I have to go look that up. And then I'll go do that. Later on that day, do the same thing over again, over and over and over
Yes.
again. And it's gotten so bad, I've had to like make myself use the desktop version of social media apps to search because if I open my phone, I, I'm stuck for 30
Summer.
minutes on it. It's bad.
I I am the exact same way because once I will be looking for something that's like specific. I get on there. I don't even go to my works
Nope.
page. I go straight to my own Instagram,
Yep.
checking my DMs. I go check the views on videos. I'm
Yep.
like, what am I doing?
I, I, I
What?
I don't
I get,
know.
and it is like not a conscious act. It is so subconscious that like
Right.
when I realize that I'm doing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to stop. I need
Like
to
I'm
stop.
concerned. And like I wouldn't call myself like addicted to my phone, although like I am on my phone. Like my average screen time like this week was like 4.5 hours a day, which that's not crazy. Like it could
Oh,
be worse.
summer, mine is like 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also like I like listen to stuff on
Right.
my phone. So it's not like I'm like actively on it. I'm just like it's just like running, but whatever.
And like I really don't go on my phone too much, but the problem is like if I touch my phone and I open it, like I'm sucked in. Yeah,
For
that's my
sure.
concern. It probably won't change if in the foreseeable
No,
future, but
there's nothing I'm gonna do to change it. So
no, I'm not really interested in changing it. I was just concerned about how like my mind automatically says, "All right, time to scroll." If I pick up my phone.
right. Right. That's so true.
It's bad. Okay, guys, that about wraps us up. Thank you guys
Mm-hmm.
so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed listening to all of our theater lore and a little bit about what we did last week because we did some very fun things we had to, of course, share on the
Share.
pod.
Right, right.
But like I said, we hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to go ahead and give us a rating on Spotify or Apple
Mm-hmm.
Podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Completely Normal Amount. Give us a like and comment over there as well. And like we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, we have Instagram and TikTok that we post on frequently. It's also
Mm-hmm.
called Completely Normal Amount. We would love, love, love if you gave us a follow over there and just liked and enjoyed our content. We love seeing how much people enjoy what we share. So,
Right, exactly. And if you haven't yet, go check out our Man Candy Monday
yes, yes, I'm sure you guys are on the edge of your seats to see who we chose. And it's right over there on the Instagram page and TikTok. So,
and TikTok. So,
we love you
all
guys so
right.
much. All millions of
Bye.
you.
I hope my dad listened to the end.
Yeah.
Yay.
See you
All right,
next time.
bye.